Alright everybody, welcome and thanks for joining me. Today we are starting the brand new Let's Play of Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. And let's get started here. Start a brand new game. And here it is. This is like the first part of the game. Here's where the prince is, and he's eager to get things started. Just walking right on in here.
Most people think time is like a river that flows swift and sure in one direction. But I have seen the face of time, and I can tell you, they are wrong. Time is an ocean in a storm. You may wonder who I am and why I say this. Sit down, and I will tell you a tale like none that you have ever heard. Know first, that I am the son of Shahram, a mighty king of Persia. On our way to Azad with a small company of men, we passed through India, where the promise of honor and glory tempted my father into a grievous error.
No, my son.
Your Majesty, I trust you will remember your promise. The Maharaja's treasure vaults lie within.
See how he fights. Like a warrior son.
Do you think I felt regret as I gazed upon the destruction we had wrought? Or at least humility at the speed with which a world can be transformed from a good world into a hell? If you think so, you are mistaken. For in that moment I thought of one thing only. The honor and glory I would bring my father by fighting like a warrior in my first battle.
Alright, so that's the cinematic for the beginning of this game here. It's kind of interesting in that it's framed as a story, right? Yeah, you get the fire. Fire does damage to you. Yeah, it's framed as a story. And the prince is super athletic, and he's, I guess, a good warrior. Has lots of abilities to run and jump and do all kinds of platforming. So you hold R to get on these things, and you can get up on top of the ledge. And then there's some camera controls. We can look around with this stuff here. And, oh look, there's a big chasm, but we can jump across it because we're really athletic. And we can do some other stuff that doesn't really exist in the real world. Really nice landscape camera here. You can zoom in and out, and you can see the prince is still in our control, so we can still like have him move around and jump and stuff. But not really going to be using that a whole lot. So, alright. Just getting used to the controls here. Getting used to the exploring. You got the sword. Interestingly enough, you also have a little scabbard for a dagger too. So we'll see what the significance of that is a little bit later in the game. And right now it's just kind of puzzling how we have the dagger. Maybe we lost it on the way in. Alright, so combat in this game, you hit B to attack. Unfortunately, most of these early game enemies is not really a match for the prince's fighting power. So, unlike Samus, who of course is filled with a deep sense of regret and shame every time she claims a life, Prince, he don't care. He'll bust the sword out. He ain't shy about it. So, there you go. There's some tacking, and then after each combat sequence, you get this little cutscene where he puts his sword away. So that tells you that you're safe and you don't have to worry about getting killed anymore, I guess.
Many men that
This is water. You
glory on the battlefield.
take a drink
But their
with
king
the
might
R
say to
button,
them,
and that
as
restores some
Kostas
health.
Rustam,
Unfortunately, we don't have any
noblest of my
fire
warriors.
to deal damage to us, so
From
I'd
the
show you
moment
how
my
to do
sword
that.
tasted blood,
Something you
I
all
knew this
might
would
have
not be
realized.
my way.
Ah, here we go.
I would
Here we
win my
go.
father's praise, not by killing, but by being the first to find the Maharaja's treasure vault and the wonders within.
Alright, so we got some more enemies here. Nothing we can't handle, you know, of course the prince is well used to the idea of a 3-on-1 fight. Just gonna do this, that gets us down a little faster. We take some damage from falling.
Wait. That's not...
So that's something I kind of like about this game, is that anytime you die or anytime something bad happens, the prince is like, wait, that's not what happened. So yeah, unlike Samus, the prince takes some damage when he falls. That's going to be something that comes up quite a bit, so you unfortunately can't be as lazy as, let's say, as I might like to be, to play a little fast and loose with the prince's life total at some points, but not as bad as you could be. All right, so here's a fight, and there's some dodges and some combo attacks. The combo attacks is going to feature very prominently in our combat. All right, so for this guy here, we're going to take some damage, so I can show you how some of the defensive works is. So you've got the block. Near as I can tell, the holding down the R button makes you completely invincible. There's also dodges. You can do some dodges, you can do some jumps, you can do some parries. I'm going to take some damage here for the purpose of showing you guys how some of this stuff works. So if you notice, the prince's health is going up slightly with time. And here's the reason for that. The reason for that is if you happen to have the Prince of Persia game or the Game Boy Advance, and this is that game. You have the Prince of Persia game for the Game Boy Advance, and then you also have the Game Boy Advance connecting cable. Then, as long as you have the Game Boy Advance game on and paused, your health will increment slightly throughout the course of the game. Isn't that kind of interesting? Obviously, that makes the game a lot easier, especially during some spots where there isn't any water to quench your thirst for quite some time. But I'm gonna turn that feature off because I think that a normal person playing this game probably isn't going to have access to that, so I'm not going to give myself access to that either. Plus, it is kind of weenie, let's be realistic here. So yeah, you got some death-defying platforming. Got some ladder climbing here. Prince loves ladders. Prince of Persia, man, he is all about them ladders. And he's all about those barrels. And yeah, you can drink from this water here, but I already healed all my health, so that's no problem at all. And yeah, you know, you got some more thugs. Got a fight coming up with some more thugs. This is another thing that this game does, is that they kind of, every time you enter a new area, it shows you kind of what you're supposed to be doing. So that can help you out a little bit. Always draw your sword before you get in one of these fights. Like I said, the combo attacks is going to feature very prominently in our combat for a couple of reasons. Number one is that they basically knock the enemies down with one hit, and that's very important. It gets even more important later on in the game for some reasons that you'll find out, I'm sure. But the other reason why the combo attacks are so good is because when you do the combo attacks, it is a lot harder for the opponents to dodge. And that's going to make it a lot easier for you, especially on the like 3v1, 4v1 fights that they have quite frequently in this game. So yeah, we're going to be, I'll try not to make it too repetitive, but after a certain point, you kind of have, that's basically the way it works. So the enemies in this game is a little bit dumb. See, look, there's like 4 of them in this room, and none of them wanted to take a fight. So yeah, he can't block that when I do the vault attack. Oh look, this guy can block my normal attacks all the time. So yeah, it just saves a bunch of time when you use the combination attacks. So yeah, that's drinking water. It heals your HP. No problem. And then you got some columns that you can jump and climb on. And so we're going to go uppity up. And let's see what we got.
Shall I continue my story from here the next time we're interrupted?
Alright, so there's a save point. We're going to go ahead and take advantage of that here.